Hello, I'm Bob Garvin. Welcome to Body Talk, episode 83. Balance all of your hormones in 5 simple steps with the help of Clinical Nutritionist Courtney Little, who joins me in a few minutes to tell you how. And you'll learn about a new way that researchers have discovered to boost your memory. If you have any questions or comments about this podcast, send an email to lifestarmedia@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out the Body Talk Facebook page where you'll find the latest medical studies, commentary, learn some new exercises, and hear some podcast outtakes. You can find the page on Facebook at Body Talk Bob Garvin. I take issue this week with a new study that suggests that acetaminophen does not worsen asthma symptoms in young children and is safe to take for the condition. What this study ignores is the fact that acetaminophen can be harmful and should be taken with extreme caution by both children and adults. The facts speak volumes. Acetaminophen is the leading cause of acute liver failure in the United States. It sends roughly 60,000 people to emergency rooms and causes hundreds of deaths every year in the U.S. It also accounts for more than 100,000 calls to poison centers, and in England, acetaminophen is the leading cause of liver failure requiring transplants. Something to think about the next time you're reaching for a pain reliever. Now let's turn to clinical nutritionist Courtney Little, who reveals 5 simple steps that you can take to balance all of your hormones. Courtney is the owner of Nutrition and Whole Health Solutions in Bedford, Massachusetts. Courtney, always a pleasure to have you back on Body Talk, and I'm going to begin by asking you something simple. If somebody has a hormone imbalance, would it make any sense to see a nutritionist?
Great question. Actually, what we eat and our lifestyle directly affects the hormones in our body. So our hormones not only control our libido, they control our weight, our immune system, our digestion, our energy, our sleep, our mood, and they're pretty important. And so diet and lifestyle factors directly affect our hormones. So some of the popular hormones in the body are insulin, cortisol, adrenaline, testosterone, serotonin, the happy hormone, as well as dopamine. And these hormones basically, they have these specific ranges that they should stay between each day. And when our hormones stay within those ranges, we feel great. The issues in our tissues arise when our hormones repeatedly are going too low or repeatedly going too high. So let's kind of go over what are some signs of hormonal imbalance. Infertility. Some signs of hormonal imbalances: infertility, weight gain or loss, fatigue, insomnia, mood disorders like depression or anxiety, digestive disorders, hair loss or thinning, and a low libido.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. So some diseases that are due to long-term hormonal imbalance are hypothyroid, diabetes, PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and adrenal fatigue. Those are some of the diseases today that are long-term hormonal imbalances, will actually manifest different disease states in the body. So what are some of the things that, throw off our hormones? We have to look at diet, medical history, our stress levels, genetics, and exposure to different toxins in our environment. So I want to go over 5 ways to naturally start balancing your hormones within days and weeks. First, what throws our hormones off and how do we bring them back into balance so we feel better health-wise? Number 1 is to avoid chemicals. Number 2, keep your blood sugar stable. Number 3, lower stress levels. Number 4, proper supplementation. And number 5 is to heal your gut. So let's dive into each one. Number 1, avoid chemicals. Many people look at the ingredients in their food, and that's wonderful. So you want to be able to examine and read the ingredients on the food or beverages that you're drinking. If you can read or pronounce the ingredients, your body's going to know what to do with it. If you're eating a lot of processed foods that have a lot of chemicals in it, those chemicals and food additives and preservatives are known hormonal disruptors, okay? This is not some like holistic nutrition stuff. This is hard fact science, okay?
And that's like all the hormones you're talking about potentially getting disrupted by?
Yes, our serotonin, our estrogen levels, our testosterone, they're directly affected by processed foods. Our hormones, it's this cascade of events that happens with digestion and our hormones. And when we're eating food, the hormones stay within their daily recommended ranges. When we're eating chemicals, they get confused. So not only do we need to green up what we're eating, we have to look at our cleaning products as well as our beauty and skin products as well. So parabens and sodium sulfate and BPA, these are also known endocrine hormonal disruptors. BPA actually has been studied numerous times over the past 5 to 10 years in how it affects insulin levels. Excessive insulin in our body leads to diabetes. So BPA, which is found in plastic and a lot of other different types of materials that we use every day, is known to increase insulin. So does sugar.
And you know, the chemical cousin that they brought out, that they say BPA safe is BPS, it's a chemical cousin, and I'm seeing studies that show evidence that this is just as bad as its chemical cousin.
Yes. So they're always looking for loopholes because it's inexpensive to use BPA. So if they change the name and can still manufacture it and save money, then they'll always try to create a loophole and not waste money that they're making, unfortunately. So you want to take a look at your beauty products and your cleaning products. And one of the best ways to green up your environment so your body is not exposed to as many toxins, not just in the food, but the other things that you're breathing in for your skincare or for your cleaning products, is to utilize essential oils. So one little bottle of essential oil you can clean your house with, you can use in different beauty products, you can make your own different types of skincare. Essential oils are extremely affordable and they are amazing at cleaning. There's so many different types of uses that you can use for essential oils. Pinterest is awesome. You can Google at-home glass cleaner essential oils and you will see a bunch of different remedies that you can make from ingredients that you have in your own home. And you can actually get essential oils at your natural grocer. They're usually always there. You'll end up saving a lot of money, and also you're not going to be inhaling a lot of harmful chemicals. When we have an excessive amount of toxins in our body, that is a huge culprit for throwing off our hormones. So again, we have to look at where are the toxins coming from, where are we inhaling it. A lot of lipsticks today contain lead. Okay, lead is a heavy metal. We should not be licking it off our lips on a daily basis.
This is a lot of the common lipsticks out there?
Yeah, a lot of the common lipsticks out there. But there's other alternatives, so we just need to know. So I don't like to kind of harp on the negative. I want to try to say, okay, this is kind of what's out there and how do we make things better. And like I said, number one is to avoid chemicals whenever possible. Chemicals drastically affect our hormones, okay? They throw our hormones off balance. The less chemicals, the better your hormonal balance will be. Number two, keep your blood sugar stable every 3 to 4 hours. So you want to get a combination of protein, fat, and the right types of fat, and fiber. So the proteins that you want to try to aim for are hormone-free, okay? So if you're trying to balance your hormones, you don't want to eat hormones, okay? That's common sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hormone-free, antibiotic-free, grass-fed, different meats and poultries, wild-caught seafood. Those are the types of proteins that you want to try to eat. Number two is eating the right types of fat. Two of the best fats to balance your hormones. Listeners, are you ready? Do you have your pen and paper?
Not only are they ready, I want to hear that.
Okay, good. Avocado and coconut oil. Those are two extremely healthy omega-3 fats that help to balance hormones. Unfortunately, the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fats has drastically changed over the past 30, 40, 50 years. We used to have a lot higher of a ratio of omega-3 fats to omega-6 fats. Omega-6 fats are your canola oil, your vegetable oil, your safflower oil, your sunflower oil. An excessive amount of omega-6 fats causes a lot of inflammation in the body.
And these omega-6s, they're the ones that they've been telling us for years are really heart healthy, and they boast about them on the products. And you're saying that they're good, it's just that it's just out of balance and too much of it?
Yeah, so if you take a look at a lot of the food that you're eating, and a lot of the food that we've been eating as a whole for years, we've been getting an excessive amount of omega-6 fats and not enough omega-3 fats. So we just need to kind of rebalance and up the omega-3 fats and lower the amount of omega-6 fats to help cool that inflammatory response. Because when you're not eating the right types of fat for your body, that in itself negatively affects your hormones and throws them off balance. Okay? It's like this cascade of event that occurs. Number two also includes fiber. So fiber helps to keep your blood sugar stable. You want to make sure that you're getting at least 4 to 5 cups of non-starchy vegetables per day, which are loaded with antioxidants, fiber, and minerals, as well as at least 3 to 4 cups of fruit per day, bare minimum. Most people don't even get close to that. So fiber helps to keep your blood sugar stable. So why does keeping blood sugar stable matter when we're talking about hormones? Well, your hormones ride the wave of your blood sugar. So if your blood sugar is spiking, because you're not combining your food properly, if you're not getting enough of the right fat, enough of the right fiber, or enough of the right protein, you're going to spike your blood sugar. If your blood sugar spikes, whoop, there goes one hormone. Now, if one hormone's going way too high, another hormone's going to plummet just to maintain balance. Your hormones work like a family. So it's really important to get the right types of food and the right combinations of food every 3 to 4 hours to keep your blood sugar stable. That's going to keep your hormones in check and within their ranges per day. Number 3 is to lower our stress levels. So when we're stressed out, what happens? Adrenaline and cortisol is cranking, which are the stress hormones, and over time, testosterone, which affects not just muscle tone and energy, but libido, starts to plummet. I have men in their 20s coming to my office with libido issues in their 20s. That was not so common years ago.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of adult males that come in who are on different medications and are still not noticing a change or improvement with being on a medication to increase their testosterone in their libido. The moment they start to make some tweaks to their diet, even through blood work, we're seeing an improvement and an increase in testosterone just by changing their diet. Our lifestyle and what we eat directly affects our hormones, directly. Some ways to actually lower stress levels is to exercise. So even if you can get 10 to 15 minutes in the morning and 10 to 15 minutes in the evening, strength training exercise is phenomenal for helping with the insulin response. So it's really important. If you were to exercise, strength training is one of the best forms of exercise. It's great for your hormones. Strength training also boosts testosterone, which is great for a lot of things, including libido, and to sleep. So another way to lower our stress levels is to make sleep a priority. So if you can't get a lot of sleep, you want to make sure that due to your schedule or, whatever is happening lifestyle-wise, you want to make sure the sleep that you have is quality. Sleeping actually helps to decrease cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that your adrenal glands, which is part of your endocrine system, secretes. And when we did not get a good night's sleep, the next day, obviously we're more prone to being tired, but we actually are more prone to overeating, having more calories, and more calories from sugar and or salt. The nights that we get a better night rest, we tend to have more energy throughout the day, the next day, and we have less cravings for the junk. That is due to a hormone called cortisol. So when we don't get enough sleep, cortisol goes up. Well, one of the things that happens if cortisol is repeatedly going too high is we start to store weight in the midsection Number 4 is proper supplementation. So there are some key vitamins and herbs and essential oils that naturally help to balance our hormones. So lavender and chamomile essential oils are really relaxing oils. They help to increase what's called the parasympathetic part of your nervous system. So it helps to bring stress hormones down and increase the happy hormones like serotonin and dopamine just by breathing in the essential oils, or you can put it on the bottoms of your feet or right on your wrist. So those are good ways to naturally balance hormones. Also, on other segments, we've talked about vitamin D. When vitamin D goes too low in our body, it negatively affects the other hormones in the body. So you want to make sure that your vitamin D is not just okay, that it's great, okay? Because vitamin D has such a profound effect upon the other hormones in the body. And then also, for proper supplementation is adaptogen herbs. So ashwagandha, tribulus, licorice root, rhodiola, all of these herbs are known adaptogen herbs. So what does that mean? If a hormone in your body is too low, it helps to bring it up. If a hormone in your body is too high, it helps to bring it down. It helps to bring hormones back into balance. And number 5 is to heal your gut. So what does this mean? Gut problems have been found to trigger autoimmune reactions in the body like arthritis and thyroid disorders, which are known hormonal diseases. Leaky gut is when actually undigested food particles leak through your gut into your bloodstream. This produces an inflammatory response called silent inflammation that affects your whole bodies and over time throws your hormones out of whack. It especially affects the endocrine glands, and your endocrine glands secrete hormones. So like your pituitary, your pancreas, your thyroid. These glands, when there's that inflammatory response, it's kind of like Mike Tyson's hitting them, okay? It takes a beating, and that really can undersecrete or oversecrete major hormones that are affecting your mood, your weight, your libido, your digestion, your immune system. So one of the ways to heal your gut is knowing whether or not you have any imbalances in your gut, which there's different testing that you can do. You can talk to your doctor about that. Drinking bone broth. Bone broth has a lot of collagen and gelatin and other nutrients like L-glutamine, which help to seal any holes that are in the gut. So drinking 1 cup of bone broth per day has so many different health benefits. I could talk for hours about that. Also getting a good quality collagen protein powder. Collagen protein powder also helps to seal and heal up a leaky gut. So my 5 ways to naturally balance your hormones: avoid chemicals, keep your blood sugar stable, really work on lowering your stress levels. That is super important. Number 4, proper supplementation. And number 5 is to heal your gut.
Thank you, Courtney, as always, for joining me on Body Talk. Finally, you can boost your memory by combining learning with movement. Researchers found that adults who exercised 4 hours after completing a learning task had better memory recall 2 days later. But they caution that exercising immediately after learning a new task, that appears to have no effect on memory retention. The study was published in the journal Current Biology. Well, that's it for this edition of Body Talk. My producer is Katie Stell. The Body Talk theme song was composed by Rob Carlson and sung by Vicky Vox. If you'd like to stay up with medical studies on a daily basis, follow me on Twitter at BGPVideo. And if you have any questions or comments about this program, feel free to send me an email at lifestarmedia@gmail.com. Body Talk is a production of Lifestar Media.